Hey guys, welcome back. And I think it's safe to say that it's not a day ending in Y if somebody's not complaining about Twitter or X or whatever you want to call the platform. Personally, I'm going to stick with Twitter for right now because telling somebody that you're on X or that you're Xing, it just sounds like it has too many negative connotations. I don't know, call me crazy. But yeah, I mean, Twitter or X, as it's now called, it's definitely had its fair share of stories in the news, articles being published about it, about a lot of the changes going on between monetization and censorship, and the way that the company is being run essentially at this point. And it never fails to amaze me how these unhinged celebrities are making everything about them when it comes to Twitter. As I'm sure most of you probably know, Stephen King has had some incredibly unhinged takes on Twitter. I mean, coming from a guy who's a complete creep based on his own literary works, it's kind of funny that he is one of these people that is so adamant about completely crapping all over Twitter and Elon Musk and pretty much anybody who's right of center. But, I mean, as we all know, basically the whole thing that started this was that Elon Musk decided after purchasing Twitter that he was going to do away with the blue check marks, that if you wanted to have a verified check mark, you were going to have to pay for it. And again, there's still a lot of question marks about whether or not it's going to be worth it for the average person in the long run. I would say if you're not a content creator, if you're not posting your videos or long form content or live streaming to Twitter, it's probably not worth it, to be honest. I don't think it's worth the time or the money just to have a few more features on a platform. Now, that could change as things go further down the road here. I think there could be other parts that they incorporate, other things they integrate into Twitter's or X's platform that makes it more worth it for the average person to maybe pay for some sort of subscription model or whatever. But if you're not a content creator or a influencer, which, God, I hate that term, I don't think it's worth spending $8 a month or $10 a month, however you sign up. Now, the crazy thing is that you have people like Stephen King who they tweet crap like this in response to the name officially changing. Twitter, 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 Twitter. I mean, you can read it for yourself. And in case you didn't get that, Twitter. Like, okay, that's cool. Steven got 109,000 likes. I'm not sure why, but hey, more power to him. I mean, we have guys like Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman, famously known for being that guy you recognize in a lot of, action films or B action flicks where it's kind of like, oh yeah, I know that guy, and then you can't put a name to a face. Now, typically, I like Ron Perlman's acting. I mean, I always loved him, like in the roles he was in Aliens 4. I think he was the only good part of that movie. Kind of the same thing with Enemy at the Gates. But he's been a complete unhinged lunatic with like his threat that he issued to Bob Iger. The same kind of thing with Ron DeSantis. These completely crazy video rants that he unleashes. So he left Twitter, supposedly, on July 10th, said, breaking, I'm taking my business to Threads, haters stay the F out. And remember, Threads is officially dead at this point, I think. The interest in Threads has plummeted since it launched. All of a sudden, July 30th, he made it almost 3 weeks. Ron Perlman he came back to Twitter. He's like, I woke up to see Twitter is now X. The real question is why. Haha, a lot of laughs. That's great. So this kind of ties into the lead story here, where Mark Hamill has kind of like teamed up with or hijacked this movement that somebody else on Twitter started, where they're apparently going to take a day off of Twitter on August 1st, which would be tomorrow in a couple hours. So this article from Bounding into Comics kind of goes through it. It says basically the idea to use a day-long site-wide user blackout to send a message of dissatisfaction to Musk was raised on July 25th, courtesy of Ms. Sergeant Pepper. I have no idea who this person is. They've got either a picture of Leia from Star Wars or maybe it's a cosplay of it. I don't know. Quote, original tweet was, I am proposing that August 1st be a tweet out day where blue voters take the day off from tweeting. Think of the revenue lost for Twitter, or X if we did that. Best way to effect a change with a billionaire is to hit them in the wallet. Retweet if you're with me. Now, what I find curious is Elon Musk is not a conservative, even though he's expressed interest in voting for like Ron DeSantis and that he thinks Republicans need to like take over in the next election. He's not a Republican. So I'm not quite sure what this person's talking about blue voters. There's a lot of blue voters that had regret about voting for Obama and Biden. So I'm a little lost here. There were blue voters who voted for Trump in the last election. So later that same day, Hamill would officially take note of the proposed tweet out, responding to Ms. Sgt. Pepper's rallying cry of, "It would be really awesome if August 1st tweet out day was trending," by authoring his own post featuring the hashtag, and you can see it right here. On July 30th, the Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep voice actor, I can't believe he's still voicing video games, although that was like 10 years ago, 12 years ago, would double down on his support for the campaign, retweeting Ms. Sgt. Pepper's original post and explaining this will only be effective if everyone refrains from tweeting on August 1st, aka Tweetless Day. And this article really, it points out the problem with this, because it seems that there hasn't really been an actual organized movement to get everyone to stop tweeting at the same time on the same day. Because it says, in a further blow to their protest, both individuals have failed to establish a concrete start date to their proposed 24 tweetless hours. As such, it has been left up to the discretion of each individual user, many of whom will likely find the timings of their own self-imposed tweetouts failing to overlap in any significant way. And the funny thing is, the response I've seen to this is mostly people saying, hey, I'm just going to tweet twice as much. I'll just tweet 5 times as much. Which, I mean, who even knows? Most of these people are going to probably have an alt account they're tweeting from, so it's going to look like they took the day off, but you know that they're still going to be sitting on Twitter all day long. They're just going to have to be commenting from an alt account and acting like it's not really them. But hey, you know, if you're on Twitter, follow me on there. MinF Podcast, at MinF Podcast. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, I basically had to combine both my YouTube account Twitters into one because my other Twitter account got banned unceremoniously and unfairly, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, this crap is hilarious. You know, Mark Hamill, he's got a lot of nice things to say about the way the Star Wars saga should have ended, the direction the movie should have gone. There's a lot of things when it comes to the movie side of things, his actual movie career, that I tend to agree with him on, at least the way direction of the movies should have gone. But his completely like TDS or like riddled brain is just, it's awful. He needs to get off Twitter. Him and Ron Perlman need to take an actual like year-long vacation from Twitter. Well, let me know what you guys think down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, that would be awesome if you did. We're trying to get to 500 as soon as possible here. I'm pushing for 1,000 by the end of the year, but every little bit helps, and hopefully we'll see you guys on the next one.